Hey everybody, it's Doug Mystica, Board Game Geek, Doug Herring on YouTube, bringing you another playthrough of a board game. Well, this is kind of a board game. It's a board game, but it uses cards and other interesting components to make a game. And it is called, and it's from a really cool series of games that I will show you I kind of have all of, and that is Teeny Epic Quest. And what you're looking at up there at the top is my unpackaged. I got two of them, deluxe editions, and that's the one that I haven't opened yet. We're going to be playing with the one I did, and we're going to be doing a full playthrough of 3 players. And this game is great. It's simple in its play style. I think it's actually, I'm vacillating between which one I like best, Teeny Epic Quest or Teeny Epic Defenders. I'm not sure. They're both really good. And Teeny Epic Defenders is getting an overhaul too, with an expansion and that sort of thing. So that's pretty awesome. But there is also Teeny Epic Kingdoms, Teeny Epic Galaxies, Teeny Epic Western. Pretty good stuff. And we're going to start playing this one. Now again, we're going to play a 3-player game. And in this game, you are playing a group of adventurers that work for a kingdom that are running around the world trying to gain, you guessed it, victory points. Now, we're going to do that in a unique way. There's basically 2 phases to the game. There's a day and a night phase. In the day phase, you're going to pick a movement of some type, each player. And these cards look like this. Now, so for example, in the day phase, if I'm player number 1, I can pick traveling by horse. And that means I get to move by horse first, and then everybody else gets to follow me. And then when we've all done that, we flip this over, we know we've moved by horse, and then player 2 will say, I want to move by ship. We all make our movements by ship, which is to travel around the coastal areas or the outside border areas. And then once everybody's done that, we get to flip that over. We do that 4 times out of the 5 cards we have available for movement, and then that would end the day phase. Now during that time, during the day, we may be completing some quests. Those quests look like this. So for example, this one says Battle the Twin Kraken. To complete this quest, you have to have 2 of your heroes on opposite coasts at the same time, in the same row or column. That's pretty tough to do. So we'll see if we can accomplish that. I don't know if we'll be able to right away. We'll see if we can get to it. Then there's another movement quest. It says Train the Griffin. To complete this quest, have all 3 of your heroes in a diagonal line, each on separate map cards. You'll see how that works too. And then we have what's called I think this is called an adventure quest or something like that. Discover the lost treasure. If we complete a run through, I think this is called the Woodland or Forest Temple. Yeah, Forest Temple says right there. I'm pretty smart, aren't I? We get to then go after this bow, and this bow is right here. It says during the night, the equipped hero gets that bow. It's pretty cool. The bow is really awesome. Now, that's the cool part, right? So the next thing we do is we get to also, our character cards have some different things on them. Each one is kind of asymmetrical. There's some features that are the same, but there are some that are different. And they look like this. Now, pardon my little mushroom guys. Those come from the expansion, but there are some parts missing in my box, which I already have confirmation that are on the way. It was the power tokens that go on the power. They look like a little Triforce triangle, but like out of Zelda. But this goes here. So each player starts with 3 power and 6 health, and we get to do different things. Now, what's cool, what's asymmetrical about this? That part's all the same. But what's different about that is that we have these special artifact items that these epic items that we can get to, the sword, the shield, and the staff, and each character gets, our player gets to get them in a different way. So in this for example, we have to go to 2 different temples to get the sword, and those 2 different temples are going to be different than the ones that the green player needs to get to. So it kind of adds some unique flavor to it. Now, this shows that we are adventuring. This shows that we're resting. So during the night phase, when we're adventuring, we're going to roll a bunch of dice. When we've decided we're done, we're going to go into rest phase, and we're going to complete some things. And that's how that's going to work. Now, we do have some other items I want to share with you. One of them is this also awesome item rack. So these meeples, the meeples that you have in the game, have the ability to attach things to them. See the little knob there? So for example, if the blue player gets his epic sword, he can attach this to the meeple, and he gets to carry around the epic sword. That's pretty awesome, right? Well, there's also all these other items. You noticed I mentioned the bow. There it is right there on this rack. Now we can acquire those items by completing these quests, and there's quite a few of them to go there. There's this crystal thing. I don't know what all of them do. There's a shovel, a boomerang, a lantern, a pan flute, all kinds of cool stuff. All right, now there's another thing I want to talk about quickly, and then we'll talk about the map itself. During the game, we're also going to learn spells. Now, the one thing that I kind of was disappointed, because when I first saw the game, I thought, oh, cool, you're going to be able to learn and cast spells. Well, you kind of do, but it really is just for points. So when you learn a new spell, you're going to try and generate magic on this magic track, and when it gets there, it's going to generate a point for you. So if I'm trying to learn this first level spell here, and I'm the blue player, and I'm on the space to learn the spell, and I've acquired one, that would give me enough to learn that spell. And now I've learned it forever, and it's going to benefit me not only at the end of the game, but it's also going to raise my maximum power level up. So that's pretty cool, and the power helps us defend ourselves. So you do get magic that you can use, but it's more of a generic, here's your power-fueled magic that you get to play with, and that's how that works. So that's the magic track. So you can see there's a few different things going on. It's pretty neat. So let's go to the game board itself right now. So down here at the bottom of the board, you can see we have the green castle, and we got our green meeple players on that. Now, when we take the movement cards, let's say by horse, it allows us to move along the roads, which go this way, and we can move as far as we want down the road. So we can get off the map completely, off the camera view anyway, go as far as we want to a location. But let's just say we want to start going down the temple here, the Shadow Temple. We can just head on down the road, pop into the Shadow Temple. That's if we rode by horse. Now if we go by river, you can see that the rivers go up and down. If we go by ship, we're going to go around the outside of the board. If we go by griffin, we're going to go diagonally, kind of like chess moves in a way. And so, by the way, it's not ship, it's called raft. We go up and down the raft. And then by foot, we just get to move one in any direction to a new tile. And you saw how those movement quests work. If we gain those things, we gain some bonus for doing that. It's pretty neat. But that's how that works for us. And then during the night phase, once we've moved to everywhere we want to go, we're going to start rolling some dice. And these dice have various symbols on them. They have goblins. That's bad. That means we get attacked. They have fists, which means we get to punch goblins if we're fighting them. They have magic if we get in to do that. They got maps and torches. Now, I'm gonna like if I was the first player, I would roll this, and everybody gets to use. Well, sort of these two things, kind of, or yeah, not these two things. This thing kind of takes effect on its own, and it'll affect the first person. Then, if there was two of those, then the next player would get affected. So the first two players would eat these. Now the other one that does that is the, if I can find it, the energy symbol is the same way. So if I'm player one and there's only one of these, I'm the only one that's going to get the benefit. But when we've used all these dice, they're going to pass to the next player. Next player is going to roll, so on and so forth. Now, if I choose not to roll, I'm going to rest, and then I complete all the actions I had to take place there. And that we can do that to perpetuity. It's kind of a press your luck thing, where you can keep on rolling, but if you keep on rolling things, these goblins, you're eventually going to run out of health and be punished and lose all the things you did. So you don't want that. You definitely want to mitigate that part. And that's basically, so that's kind of the setup, kind of the rules, how it goes. I'm not going to give you all the details. We'll see those during gameplay. But as you can see, there are lots of teeny epic games. I got them kind of spread out here because I have them all, and I do like them. I'm thinking that I'm really leaning to, and you'll see through the playthrough why I think that. This might be my favorite one. I'm not 100% sure. Now, again, this is a learn to play. I have watched some videos and I did a little play testing, and that's what. So when I say I'm not sure if it's my favorite one yet, the reason being is I haven't played a full game, and I certainly haven't played with other people yet. So bear that in mind as you watch. I don't think I'll get many of the rules wrong in this one because it's pretty straightforward. Now there are some subtleties in the quests and that, but we'll play that as we go, and we're going to fight goblins and do all kinds of crazy things. It's going to be pretty cool. But guys, let's continue on, and hopefully we will get a good game going of Teeny Epic Quest. We're going to start with the blue player, and we're going to take at least one turn in this video, and then we'll continue. So guys, thanks. I appreciate it. And if you're wondering what's happened with my this War of Mine video, I got one coming out pretty soon. I just need to do some editing on it, and I got something different going on with that one. So it'll come soon. But for now, we're going to play Teeny Epic Quest. Let's get going. So lastly, as we start this, we're going to be taking our 5 turns to play the game. So we're going to move on and start turn 1 with the blue player. He is going to get to go first. Okay, so since the blue player is going first, we're going to make some movement and we're going to travel first by horse. Now, I was looking at the quests in play, and it's going to be a little challenging for him to get to either of them at any time soon, especially this one that says Battle the Twin Krakens. That's going to be pretty tough. Now, he could get to the edge of the map, but it wouldn't do him much good because the spell that he has to learn... Well, so just to give you an example, this spell here is the second spell on the chart. He could go there and start to learn that spell. It really wouldn't even take him... Well, it would take him quite a bit to get to the 2 points on the magic chart. So that's not his best move. What is a good move for him is he needs to go to the water temple to start to explore for his epic sword or epic quest sword. So my first movement is going to be, we're going to pick by horse. That means everybody's going to get to move by horse. We're going to start with the blue player. He's going to go over here to the temple of, it's the water temple. Now, we're going to go on to the green player. Now, the green player has a number of choices. I think his easy choice, he has a choice. He could go right here to the goblin, go right along the road and go to the goblin, or he could go all the way down here and start the first spell, and I think that's what he's going to do. So the green player is going to go here to boom, going to start this first spell. That's going to help him gain that, start to gain some magic power, and that's going to be useful. Okay, then we're going to move on to the red player. And the red player is a little more challenged in where he's going to go. Now, he could make it to do some interesting things, but it's going to be tough for him. So he is up here, and he's got this weird, very weird area that he's got to explore. He may not even want to do this. I might move him just to see if we can get him. Well, you know what we can do? Oh, yeah, here's what we're going to do. Okay, he is going to move. He's going to take his guy, and he's going to move all the way down to here, and he's going to learn the scorpion spell. Now, he may not be able to do that, but because he is here on the very end, Andy is here on the very end, I want to take on that end, I want to take a look at this. It says, have 2 of your heroes on opposite coasts in the same row or column. He has actually succeeded at this. Now, the problem is, I don't think we can, I got to look, but I don't believe we can exceed our power rating. So right now his gain is 3, but he's already at his max power. What this will ever do is give him a quest toward his victory points. And if we look at the victory point chart, we start off in the negatives. If we don't have any quests, we -3. So we've already bumped that down to -1, even though he will not gain the benefit of this extra power. And I'm going to double check that. I do not believe that you can gain more than your maximum ability. And that's, I'll double check that, and we'll come back, because that is going to allow us to bring out a second card. This is going to be a movement card. There always needs to be a treasure card and a movement card in play. And so right now we still have 1 of each, so we're okay. What does this one do? It says share ancient knowledge. To complete this quest, have 2 heroes on the center map card. So we would have to meet in the very center of the map, and then we're going to get to advance your spell token. Oh, that is really good. So we can coordinate that with another player and see if we can accomplish that quest. But we have also finished moving by horse, so that is going to get turned upside down, and that means we have completed that. We're going to do 3 more movement types before we go to the night phase. And last but not least, we're going to flip this token over to say that we have actually taken a quest, because once you've done that, this is the first player token, by the way, it also demonstrates that we don't have to clear a quest off at the end of the round. We've managed to replace a quest already. So there we are. Now we're going to move. We've done all their turns. Now the green player is going to get to pick a movement token. Sorry, I meant movement card. Let's think about what they want to do. Okay, well, this is going to be very interesting. Oh yeah, see, I was looking at this one. The other hero doesn't get it, just you, so you got to get lucky on that one. So I was thinking that he might do that, but that's not going to work. So what we're going to do with the green player is we are simply going to move by foot, and that's going to be this one. So we're going to move by foot. Green player is going first. He is simply going to move to this space right here where it says conjure 2 magic, advance the magic token forward in space by 2. This will help him ensure that he gets to his magic. Now, I was thinking about having him go and fight the goblin, but he's already attempting to learn a spell. This will get him closer by advancing this token 2 spaces to there, because now he needs 2 more during the night phase, and he'll be able to learn that spell without any consequence. That's a good thing. So that was the green movement. Now we're going to go to the blue player, or the red player rather. Well, the red player is feeling just the slightest bit hosed right now because he's not getting the best selections out of these movement cards. But what he'll do is he's just going to move one up to here, and he's going to attack that goblin up at the very top of the board right here. And he'll have a fight with the goblin up there. And that'll be his move. Then we go on to blue. So what will blue do? Well, blue, you know, red's going to end up picking the next card, movement card, and he doesn't know what he's going to pick. So I think blue is going to move. He doesn't have a lot of choices. Well, let me think. No, he does not have a lot of choices. Blue doesn't. So blue is going to move just one down here, and he too is going to fight a goblin. Hopefully there will be some payoff for him with that. We'll see. And that is going to end the movement. Now nobody got a card there that time, but or a quest card, so they all stay the same. And we're going to move on to our next movement. So this one is done. We're going to flip that over and be done with it. I do want to point out that I moved this down to represent the green player moving, but the blue player does remain the first player for this first whole round. Okay, so we still have to move the, yeah, the red, nope, we don't. That was everybody. So now we're going to move on to the red player. They're going to get to pick their movement card. And the red player is choosing to move by ship. Now what that means is you can move from any coastal area to another coastal area. So we're going to start with the red player. Change of plans, my friends. We're going to move by griffin, not by ship. So third card is going to be moved by griffin, which is diagonal movement as far as you want to go. The reason I'm doing that is I want to take the last character in the castle. Even though there will be one more movement card, this is going to get us to a place we want to go. We're going to move down to here, and we're going to start on the forest track to discover the bow. And the bow is really powerful. It says during the night phase, the equipped hero may attack a goblin from an adjacent map card as long as it's not attacking another hero. So if there's an empty goblin, like this one here, we can attack it with the bow if we have the bow, but we don't yet. So that is the red players. Now we're going to go to the blue player. He can move via griffin. So the blue player still has a character in his castle too, and I think what he's going to do is move diagonally as well. The blue player is already attacking goblins, so we don't want to do that, but we do want to move here. It says roll the dice and use any of these symbols to advance any of your heroes in their temple. Now, he does have so many temples, so we're going to go roll the dice. And we're going to hope for lots of torches and scrolls. Let's see what we get. We got one scroll and one torch. Oh, that's not too good, but anyway, it'll help us quite a bit. Even still, I'll show you. So this is going to allow us to advance too. Now, no, it says scrolls, but this allows you to use either or to move any hero in a temple. So we're going to move 1, 2 to there. He's only got 2 more spaces he needs to move on that temple to complete it. And again, these things, they don't happen during the night phase, they happen immediately, so that's why you do them. And that was the blue player, so now the green player gets to go in the same fashion. He's got one more guy in his castle, and I just realized that as the blue player, I made a critical error, and I'll show you what it is. So I actually moved to the center square, so the green player, who is not attacking a goblin anywhere, is going to move to here and go to this space, and look at this. Share ancient knowledge. To complete this, have 2 heroes on the center map card. Advance your spell token 1 in the spell library. Well, the only shame about that is he was already doing that, but this is a guarantee, and he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. So he gets the quest card on top of it. So he earned this quest. So I'm going to put that in the green player. The green player's taken both the quests so far. We're going to get a new quest out, which is going to be another treasure quest. We still have a map quest out, so we're okay. And this one's going to be to discover the flute instead of moving. Normally, the equipped hero may always move by griffin. That's pretty good. Okay, now let us continue on. That was the entirety of the griffin movement phase. Boom, that is over with. Now we get 2. We got move by raft or move by ship, and the blue player gets to choose that. So moving by raft, he doesn't really have any. He only has one character that can move by ship, so that's not good. I guess he's going to move by raft. Which will, oh yeah, I know what he can do. This will be very, very, well, this might make it more challenging, but I don't think so. So yeah, we're going to move by raft. That's going to be his movement. And since this guy's already done his thing, he's going to come floating on down here to the ice temple, and he's going to declare that he is going after the flute instead. Now he also has the ice temple as his first selection for his shield, but he's going to go for the flute. The flute allows for some really awesome movement. That was the blue player. Now he picked the raft, so the green player gets to go next. What is the green player going to do? So remember that the green player got to already discover his first level spell. So that in turn, I forgot to mark that in turn increases his max energy up. I'll put that on his card. His max power is now 4. That's pretty good. But yeah, I think what he'll do is not move at all, because to move on the river, I can't move this guy up the river to here. I have to move him to a different tile. So I could move him to there and start his quest for one of his special items. But if there's really nowhere else I can move him. This guy's already fighting a goblin here. Well, you know what he can do? He is in a... he's not in a temple anywhere. He could move... these are really useless to him, unfortunately. I guess he could go to the... No, he doesn't have anything in the Ice Temple for first level, so there's really no place he could go. I was looking to see if any of the temples would do him any good, but they don't. So, I think he's just going to skip the movement for where he's at, and I don't think that's going to change anything. I should move him, but I don't know where to move him to that would make any sense for him. The spells that he would have to go to are way too high. I guess if we get up to 2 points, he could end up getting this crab one. But if we get up that high, we're also going to be taking damage. It's high risk. Very, very... Oh, that's not the crab. That's the lion with the... Yeah, that's way high spell, so that's not valuable to him. The porpoise one here is also very high level. And the wolf one here is even higher level. So, yeah, I think he's going to skip movement. Okay, so we're going to move on from to the red player, and he's going to be the last player. Once again, the red player is going to skip movement too. I looked at the board, and the only place he could really do is go fight a goblin, but he's already fighting a goblin in another square, so he's going to skip the movement too. He's not going to take the raft, so the raft ended up not being very useful for people. We're going to end that, and that is going to end the daytime phase. So now we're going to move on to the night phase, and again, blue player is player number 1, so he's going to get to go first, and we're going to start by rolling the dice. Now, the blue player wants to try and catch up on some quests too, so we'll see what he can get accomplished this turn. So first off, we're going to resolve the goblin and the energy, okay? And then everybody's going to get to resolve those. But let's go with the goblin and the energy first. I'll show you how that works for him. Now, creatures attack in succession, and the energy gets expended in succession. So since he's first player, he's going to get these dice first, okay? Now, he has to deal with the goblin and the energy. Now, if there was 2 goblins, then this player would have to deal with the second goblin, but there isn't one. So he's going to take both of these. It sucks. But he can also, during the night phase, spend 2 energy to defend. In other words, block a goblin. And that's what he's going to do. So he's going to go down to 1. He's going to block that goblin. Then he's going to gain an energy back. And that's going to expend... He's at 2 energy, and that's going to expend these 2 dice. Okay, let's go back to the dice. I'm not going to come back to the bowl, but keep in mind that we have 1 fist for goblins and 2 scrolls. And first we're going to go to the blue player and see what he resolves. So this was good news for the blue player in his water temple as he's exploring for his sword, because he needs 2 scrolls to advance to the next one, and he got them, so he gets to move there. That was really good. And then also he's fighting a goblin, which will help. Now, unfortunately, down here, he is not going to get to do anything because he doesn't have any torches, so he can't move there. But he does get to hit this goblin for 1 point, so we just basically tilt it that way to show that he's been hit. I'm a little concerned about these tokens getting moved around the board, because really you have to really keep them in the right position to make sure that they get taken care of. But I think it'll be okay. We'll see. If I bump the table, we're in trouble. But all the goblins have to be facing the exact right direction to work correctly. Okay. Now, that was the blue player, and again, that's all he's able to do. So we go to the green player. We still got the 2 fists and the 2 scrolls. This didn't help the green player too much. You can see the green player down here is not fighting a goblin, so it doesn't help him there. And over here, he does get to attack this goblin for 1 point, and his third guy's on the spell, so he got nothing for that. Now let's go to the red player. Again, the red player wanted torches. He doesn't have any, so that's kind of screwy. Then we go on, and he's in a spell location at the other place, but he does get to play whack-a-mole on this goblin right here and do a point to the goblin. Okay, that's basically it for that dice roll. Now, the dice now pass to the green player, who's going to roll again. He could choose to rest at this point, but obviously he doesn't, because he's got too much to do. So let's see what he rolls here. Okay, 3 scrolls. This is really going to help the 1 player. Again, a goblin and a magic. So the one he has to deal with right now is this goblin. And he's just going to have to take that point, so he's down to 5 hit points of damage. This symbol is very simple. We'll resolve that for everybody right now by advancing this one right here. And then we have 3 scrolls. Well, that is really going to help the blue player and nobody else, because all the other temples that players are on are torches. So the blue player gets to advance to the last space, and at the end of the night phase when he rests, and if he doesn't get KO'd or knocked out, or whether exhausted is what they call it, he will get to collect a treasure which will advance his epic sword 1 space, and I'll show you how that works when we get to it. Alright, so now that is it for the green player's role. Now we're going to go to the red player. Okay, red player, let's see what you get. Hopefully something better than what these guys got. Okay, well there's some good news for the torches. Scrolls aren't going to help. He has a goblin too, so he's going to have to deal with that, and a fist. So let's go back to the red player. I think he's going to expend the 2 energy to keep himself from getting hit, because the energy doesn't make him exhausted, so he's just going to do that. Then he gets an awesome 2 moves on this temple track. He's still not done yet. And then the blue player, who has done exceptionally well on temples, gets to do this. And the green player, I'm looking to see, I don't think the green player gets to do anything in that regards, but we do have some fists. So everybody who has a goblin on them is going to get to attack the goblin 1 more. Okay, the red player gets to advance his goblin 1 more tick there. He's only got a few more to go. You can see the green player right here. He's going to advance his goblin 1 more tick. That means he's now got, a couple of hits on that guy. And then the blue player, who is just over here, gets to do the same. Okay, and that's it for the dice. That's all that the dice can do for them this turn. There's 1 scroll, but nobody else is on a space with scrolls, so it doesn't help. We're back around the blue player. Blue player is pretty healthy, so he's not going to rest. He's going to roll. And what's he going to get? Well, oh, 2 goblins. That's not good. A torch and a scroll is really not going to help him at all. And he got a fist for a goblin. That is bad. We have 2 1-point goblins to face. So he is going to take that hit down to 5. The green player is going to take the other one. He's going to absorb his energy down there and just not take that. He's going to defend himself. And then we go on to the stuff that people can use. The only thing that people are going to get to do is use the fist, because there's 1 torch and 1 scroll, and that doesn't help anybody on the temple tracks at this point. Everybody on the torches, the temples that need torches, need 2 at this point, so it's not helpful. But let's start with, of course, since that was the blue player's role, we'll start with the blue player's goblin. That is over here. He gets to reduce him 1 more twist. He's almost got him killed, not quite yet. We also then get to move the green guy's goblin. Of course, they're all ticking at the same pace. And then way up at the top, up here, we get to tick this one more. So if they get 2 more hits on these goblins, they can get them, but they're starting to take some serious damage, and that's bad. Now we're going to move to the green player. Green player is going to choose not to rest and roll the dice again. We got too much going on. 2 torches. Uh-oh. 2 more skeletons and another, goblins and another fist. That's pretty rough. So let's go distribute those goblins. Well, he doesn't have enough energy to spend that, so he's going to have to take a hit. Okay, and then the red player is also going to take a hit. But that's the 2 goblin hits for this turn. We're not rolling any magic, which is bad, because that means the green player is the only one that's advancing on the spell chart this turn if we don't get moving. Now the green player doesn't have anybody that benefits from these 2 torches, but the red player does. He's going to get to advance on here, as is the blue player down here. He's going to get to advance 1 more onto that. And then we have 1 fist, so I'm going to tick, starting with the green player, I'm going to tick his goblin. He's only got 1 more hit before he kills it. Same with the red player, same with the blue player. So the fists on the goblins, we're really doing it up there. We're taking these goblins out pretty easily here. 1 tick at a time. We're taking a lot of damage in between, though. Okay, red player dice roll. What do we get for the red player? Oh, look at those torches and magic and no goblins. That's good. So, man, everybody's going to be moving on their temple tracks and completing them. That is pretty awesome. So let's start with the magic. This is really helpful to the red player who's on the scorpion spell. He needs to advance this up to here to be able to do that. So now it's in the 1 spot. Now, if the green player, the green player already got his spell, the blue player is not on one. So the only one that really is paying attention to that track is the red player. However, since we're focused down here and you can see this, the blue player also completed the ice temple one for this. So at the end of the night phase, he will complete and gain this item. That is the blue player. And then the red player, who is in the forest temple, is also going to complete their quest, and that is going to be for the bow. So that was a really good turn for the temples. And then that's it, because no one else can do anything else. You know, some of the players are starting to think it's time to end their turn. Like, if I think the blue player is going to go one more round to see if he can kill that goblin. If he ends right now, he's in really good shape. He's completed 2 quests, and we definitely don't want him to be exhausted. But if he rolls these dice, he's not resting until the next time the dice roll come around to him. So that could be bad. But let's see. He's going to go for it. Oh, that's bad, 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 but not terribly bad, okay? Because, yes, he's going to take 2 goblins hits. He's got 2 punches, so we're all going to kill our goblins and collect them. That's good. And he's got an energy, so he moves to here on that. He's going to bring his energy up to 3. That way he can, well, actually, he'll keep it there. He'll go back down and then go back up to 1. So he's got 1 energy. The green player, unfortunately, doesn't have the energy to burn, so he's going to move down to here. He's probably going to have to quit. And then that's it for the goblins and the energy, and now we're going to do 2 fists. So everybody, starting with the green player, has killed their goblin. I'm just going to tick him on over. And let's see, who's the other one? The red one, the red guy has, oh, I got him over here. So blue, red, and green have all killed their goblins this turn. And that is going to move the dice now to the green player. And then we're going to roll for him. I think the green player is going to rest. And I'll tell you, he's hurt. Not only is he hurt, but he's completed every single one of his quests. So when you rest, here's what happens. All of your heroes on portals or on obelisks, or on the last space of the temple track, must return to your castle. For each hero, return and gain 1 heart or 1 energy. Okay, so we're going to return all of our heroes on the green player's space, and I'll tell you why. So first off, let's take them in order. This hero here completed the track for the bow, so he has equipped the bow, and that is going to give him ability, so I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to pull the bow off of the rack here. Let's take this off. Easier said than done. Don't want to break it. Okay, there we go. And we're going to put that on him. So this red player has the bow and returns to the red castle, where that means if you read the rest phase, we're going to gain 1 health or 1 energy. Naturally, he's going to gain that health back. He can get up all the way up to 6 if he can. But let's go take a look. He's got 2 other things to do. Oops, I did the wrong one, guys. Sorry. I got to give the bow back. That was the wrong guy. I'm going to take this back and put him on the track. I'm going to leave the bow on him. He's going to get it, but it's not the right character. I meant to do the green player, who actually has nobody on a freaking temple. But he does have these 2 fellas here. The one that's way over there on that conjuring space, he's just going to return to the green castle. He's not going to give the green player anything. He just returns. But these 2, however, this one attacked a goblin, so he gets to keep this goblin. I'm going to put that with his stuff. He killed that goblin, and then he returns. That gave him the health point back. And then this guy returns from a spell obelisk, where he goes to here, and that's going to give him another health back. So he's going to get his health up to 5, and that's where he's going to end his rest phase. Now we're going to go on to the red player. I do believe that the red player may give up on that spell. It's going to be really hard, but if he stays and rolls again, well, it's very likely the blue player, the red player's in good shape. He's going to roll. So the red player is going to pick up the dice and roll, hopefully get something really good. He got another magic, that was good. 2 scrolls aren't going to help, and 2 energy. So let's go take care of the 2 energy. The energy works like the goblins, so the red player is up to maximum, and the blue player goes back up to 2, so that helped the blue player out quite a bit. And then we have the 2 scrolls. They're not going to do any good because everybody's on the last space of their temple, but we do have a magic point to boost up, which will boost the magic up to here again. He wants to get it up to 2, so then he can skip and go right to that 2nd level spell. And again, neither of them can use the scroll, so it's going to go back to the blue player. The blue player is feeling incredibly confident in what he's done. So what we're going to do with the blue player is we are going to rest. Okay, it's a good turn for the blue player. All the heroes in the portals return to the obelisk, so we'll start that process. We are going to start with this temple, since we're already looking at it right here. The ice temple he did in order to get the flute. So he's going to take that card that now becomes part of his tableau. He has the flute. I'm going to take the flute off the board of the items. And this guy here is going to now have the flute, which allows him to always move if he has a griffin as opposed to normal movement. There he is. And he goes back to the blue castle. That's going to grant the blue player a point of health or energy. Player fared pretty well. He's going to bump that back up to maximum, so he can't get any higher than that, but he does still have 1 point of energy he can get. Next, this explorer completed the water temple, so he's going to go back. He doesn't actually get an item, but what he does get to do is he gets to advance this sword. He completed this one, so he gets to advance the sword to there. Now, if he can complete the Shadow Temple, he can get the sword and use it. That's a pretty powerful weapon. Now, because he did that, he is going to get that to max out. That's awesome. Then lastly, he's going to collect his goblin, and this guy will return to the blue castle as well. The thing with that is that goblin's not going to help him. He's at max energy and max health at this point, so he can't do any more. He had a really good turn, gained an item, completed a quest. Now we're going to go back to the, we got to put out another quest. Here's that one. This is a item quest. There's still a map card out, so we're going to get to keep this one. This is the book. The Book of Lore allows you, you may also learn 1 spell level higher than what is granted by the magic track. Well, that's pretty good, so we're going to do that. And the red player, I think, what's the red player going to do? I think the red player is going to probably rest as well, because he's in good shape, but he wants to be in better shape and maybe just get better next turn. He's going to collect a bow, so that's pretty darn good. All right, let's do that. He too is going to rest, even though he's not going to get that spell. Bit of a sacrifice. He's going to get the other 2 things he needs. So we're going to do that, and I'll take the one off the spell space first. He's going to return to the red castle, and that is going to give him a point of health, putting him back to maximum. This crazy clown here, we know he's going to get the bow, so he goes back to the temple with the cool bow. We're going to take the bow and put it into his space and collect another and open up another card. It is another treasure card. This is the potion. So at the end of the day, immediately roll the dice and gain a number of health for each energy roll. That's pretty good, but he has to complete the water temple for that, or somebody does. And then the last thing we have to do with him is we're going to take him off the goblin space. We're going to put him there. We're going to collect this goblin. He killed it, and now he too has a goblin. So everybody got a goblin. So what does that do? So the good news for all the players is the goblin is no longer a negative point because everybody got one. So everybody's going to get a point for that right now. But then you got the green player's got 2 quests, so he's already a positive there. He got rid of the -3 and the -1. And then everybody else has 1 quest, so they're down a -1 there. And then spells, the only one that got a spell is the green player, and he's at a -2 right now. So that means the other players really need to make an effort to get that spell. Okay, so that's the end of the round. So we're going to advance to turn 2 out of 5. We're going to flip all of their cards back over to the adventure side for the next turn. We're going to flip the token back over and put it with the green player. He's going to be the first player next turn. And the magic token goes back to there. So it's got to start all over again for the next round. Okay, guys, we're going to end this episode here. I mean, okay, I know I'm right about this game. This is probably my favorite of the Teeny Epic games so far that I can tell. I just like the gameplay of it. It does feel like you're adventuring around with characters, and the little meeples with the items is just too cool. It's cool beyond words. I hope I see more of that. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Look for more videos coming soon. This one's going to be enjoyable. I'm going to probably crank this one out pretty quickly because these turns are easy to manage, and it won't take a lot of editing or additional filming. I think I made a couple of boo-boos, but I fixed them. If I didn't catch one, please let me know. And guys, I really look forward to playing this again. Now, I do notice from some of the playthroughs that I saw, some of these cards in the final release have changed. For example, there used to be where you had to get this card for doing something and then explore the temple, but now it's just explore the temple. And a lot of these movement card ones don't give you, some of these movement ones would also give you, maybe there are some in the deck, an item, but I haven't seen that yet. So, that's cool. And this is awesome. So we got some cool items now. We got the sword and the flute, and the blue player advanced one on his epic sword, which helps him fight goblins. Goblins are worth a lot of points, and they're the easiest track to get a lot of points in if you can start defeating them. So we're going to really tackle that and see what we can do. Guys, thanks again. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy Teeny Epic Quest, and I will talk to you in the next episode.